Them man there, them man there. Ain't nothing like them man there. My man, I stand up, give them man chairs. Them man there.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another week of For the Culture. Myself, Richard Blackwood, and the amazing, I call him JB Smooth, Jason Badass Barrett in the chair. Wearing the red, wearing the passion colours today.
Come on, man, you know how we do this thing. You know how we do
the
this
Captain
thing.
America shield.
We're in the building, babe.
Yeah,
We're in the building.
Man looked like he went to gym just before.
But,
He
yeah.
got here.
We have.
Talk about it.
See, now this is very special for me. So all of you lot know I kind of played around in the cage for a little while.
You done well. You done well.
I tried the thing.
It's on YouTube.
But we have, in my opinion, one of the most gifted athletes to ever grace God's green earth.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for MVP Michael Venom Page.
I feel like I'm about to walk out to a fight right now.
First and foremost, can we just be clear? Venom and the Venom film's out now.
Come on.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
You weren't thinking.
Yeah. I didn't get the link. I didn't do the link. I
You
was
did
going to do
research.
it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
Venom is in
We
the building.
present Michael Venom Page.
I was there. Wow. I was there.
Right, first and foremost, right, it is a pleasure to have you, Grace.
No doubt.
Pleasure to be here.
All
man,
right, you know,
seriously.
now, I mean, we were speaking off camera, right, and for the people, the one or two that are not too familiar with your work as of yet, like, what would be some of the great fights that you would say for them to watch to kind of see what you're truly about?
It's difficult. I think there's a couple. I got a couple of standout fights.
Yes.
And it's weirdly enough, it's actually not about the fight. It's about the celebration
Understood.
afterwards.
Yeah.
So I'm known for putting on a show. Full stop. So. In all honesty, you click one video and just let YouTube keep rolling because every single one of them you're gonna have fun, and that's why I bring a completely. It's not that kind of vibe where so I've had grands, mums, aunties, all these people that are not interested in fighting at all.
Yeah.
They're all like, nah, but when I watch this guy fight, man, it's just so elegant. It's just, and they're wowed by just the movement, just everything that I bring to the cage. It's a show. It doesn't look as brutal as it is when I'm in there. So just watch it, man.
Okay, so you started fighting at age 5. I mean, I was doing some research. Obviously, I'm familiar with you, but I'm thinking 5.
Yeah. It's in the family.
Yeah.
So, weirdly enough, my mum used to do it, and
Whoa, your mum?
my mum used to do it.
Oh, right.
I said,
Okay.
"Yeah, you can't play."
No. Let's take a moment on that.
Take a moment of silence. When's the last time you heard somebody say, like, I was expecting to say your dad. Dad used to come and bruck up people.
My uncle.
Right? When I say, first of all, mum used to do, I used to do what? Mum used to beat up people. Let's go there.
So my mum, the thing is mad is because people come into my house and there's like trophies, like the family house, my mum's house. Trophies and that all there, blah, blah. They're like, you got so many trophies. I'm like, yeah, they're not all mine though. My mum used to compete. Like, she could fight. Like, she could fight. Yeah, they're not all mine. And people are like, your mum fights? My mum's a ninja. Like, she doesn't fight, she's a ninja.
Can I just put a pause there? You remember when Mum was saying I'm going to bring my mum down to school? I remember go, bring your mum, innit? His mum would come in and kick like, and his mum said it. You're like, wait, why is your mum standing like that? You expect the mum to come down with slippers. Yeah. Mum come down with tracksuit bottoms and standing like that.
Skipping rope, it's ready, warming up. It's warming up, ready. Ready.
So what style did your mum do?
So Laogai Kung Fu. Back in the day, it was one of them where they had like the Friday night cinemas and everyone would go and watch the Kung Fu movies when, the Bruce Lee, the Jackie Chan, all them man used to come over. And everyone wanted to be a martial artist as soon as you walked out of that cinema. You know what I mean? People walking down the road just like
Chinese slippers.
everyone wanted to see it. So it's my uncle on my mother's side, he's Master Stan Brown. He taught both my mother and my father. Okay. And that's how they met. And so they met like just on the scene. They used to train together up to Birmingham and Acton, just all over London, Harlesden, everywhere. And so that's how they kind of got into it. They were doing competitions, whatnot. So when I was born, I just about got my balance on that one, on the 1-2 step. You know what I mean? I was balancing. I was balancing, and they were like, "Okay, now kick." I'm like,
No, man said they'll kick
okay. So from 3, I've been in and around, like in classes, training, as much as you would when you're a kid. Sometimes you get distracted very easy at that age. And then my first competition, I was 5 years old.
Wow.
So you was 2 years deep.
Wow.
Do you know 2 years deep at anything is good?
No. Competing at 5 is,
When your mum and dad do this thing, see, there's a message right there, right? Parents out there, it's not about being waifs and being whatless, You need to get out there, you need to do something, right? Because look, prodigal son right here. That's what I'm trying, prodigal son.
Definitely.
So 5 years old.
5 years old.
So what would you, do you remember your fight? I know it sounds crazy.
I don't remember my first fight. I've got clips when I was about 7, 8 of me fighting. And I remember, when we catch up about old times, I'm like, Archie, when I think about it, I was probably around 6, 7 when I was at that event. But I can't. My first fight, I don't remember. As a kid, you're just brave.
You
know what I mean? Like, and obviously I'm being told, okay, we're going to the kickboxing for me, or the martial arts for me, was school, and that's exactly what my dad said. You don't have a choice. We're going. You don't have to compete, but you have to train. It was always that. Same way. Same in school. There's no argument. We have to go to school.
See, I like that, and I think we'll get into it later about the structure of disciplining children, because I think for me that's fundamental. 100%. This is what we do. It's not you're not going to, this is what we do. I love that.
So no, actually, let me ask you then, right? Because that's a very fundamental question. We've got these parents. I call them like the millennial parents now. But they don't necessarily have to be born after the millennium, but they've just been sucked in by the millennium. That believe that your children should just have free choice at the age where they're more susceptible to things. Whereas it sounded like you was raised in a time where whether or not you're going to compete or not is one thing, but this is a skill that I believe that is going to be fundamental for you, for your future. Do you think that kind of teaching is important as a parent?
In all honesty, because I've opened up schools and stuff, so used to. It's still running, but I used to be in there a lot more often and actually teaching. So I used to see, the parents coming in and get to talk to the parents, and it's exactly as you say. So I'd have, little Johnny come in, and he's 4 years old, and we teach from 4, 3.5 if they're capable, but from 4. And we've structured the class so it keeps their attention throughout the whole thing. And they'll come in, they'll have, little Johnny will have an amazing time, and he's doing this, and she'll come out and be like, oh my God, I've never seen him do that before. He looks so confident and this and that and da da da. I'm just gonna go home and ask him if he wants to do this.
Yo. Hey, Jay.
And I'll always just be like, but what? I don't even understand how that conversation is going to go, because you're going to be talking to him, he's just playing.
Right.
And you're like, oh, so did you like the class? Like, what do you know what I mean? And I'm telling you, like, next week, he's not going to want to be here. And he's going to want to do something else. But you understand the benefits that we're giving to your child.
Exactly.
So that's it.
That's
all it should be.
That is being a parent.
Exactly.
You are there to guide and lead.
It's hard. It's difficult, because a lot at that time as well, I'm a lot younger than the parents that are coming in. So it's hard to want to tell them anything. But I was that guy. I would be like, look, they're 4 years old, and if you know it's beneficial for them, let's just start them doing it for X amount of time. And if you're having any troubles, let me know. I remember having a mum used to bring in a child, kicking and screaming like this. He did not want to come in, and she's like, and I understand her position. She was more embarrassed because she actually wanted him to do it.
Yeah.
But she's embarrassed that this and the effort it took to get him in the car, knowing that he's coming here, and it's a bit difficult. And I understand her position.
Yeah.
Very difficult. She's embarrassed with other parents, kind of giving you the side eye, like control your child. What's that about?
You know, parents really control your child.
But she was like, I'm gonna start bringing him. I said, no, bring him an extra day, because we only did once a week for them because of their attention span. I said, bring him an extra day. I'm gonna cancel your payments. Just keep bringing him in.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just bring him in, and should bring him in. Same thing, kicking and screaming. I said, when you come here, second you drop him, get out. Like, just leave, and I'll take him from there. Yeah. We would sit there, and for about 6 weeks, he did not do a class, but we would just sit there for the 45 minutes and just talk. Yeah. Oh, do you like Power Rangers? And seriously, at first it was difficult. I'm like, oh, so you like Power Rangers? He's like, no.
You know, the one this time he loves Power Rangers, you know.
He was just like, I don't want to be here. Stop
Rangers in his
talking to
hand.
me. Yeah, you know what I mean? No. Just play with the arm, like, all right, cool. All right, cool. It was difficult, and eventually, like, we do little games at the end. So we're like, you're joining him just at this bit, just come. And slowly, seriously, he's one of our best students.
Wow.
Like, they have like these little graduations for like their only little version of their black belt to begin with, and then they go on to a bit more of an adult system and da-da-da-da. And yeah, if you saw him, if I was to tell you what I had to go through with him, and even for the mum, she was just like, it's unbelievable. Even how his confidence now, even in other sports. You know what I mean? It translates. So he goes to everything else, and now he's just amazing.
See, I'm glad you said that, because I was going to say, for me, one of the fundamental things about training and martial arts is the transferable skills. That discipline that you can bring it into other areas in your life. And like you mentioned, their confidence and all of those kind of things. So how do you think that's been for you, especially from so young, you know, bringing that into other areas?
I'd say one big thing for me I'd say it's helped me. There's loads of different things, but one big thing is, weirdly enough, being able to say no. And it sounds so simple, but when you're in the ends with your boys and all them things, they're running around with them, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna go and do this. I'm like, are you all right? Because in my head, I had a different peer group as well. So I had a peer group, like they're my family in the martial arts. Because you're with each other all the time.
Absolutely.
That's your family. You know what I mean? And then you got your peer group. So I'm like, out of the two, I would prefer you guys dislike me than them. Because if these guys find out that I did that, I can get whooped as well. Legally, they can beat me up. You know what I mean? And then the police can come to me, we were just training. Just training. Okay. That's it. So, and for me, it was just like, are we going to do this? Nah, man, I'm good. And I was comfortable to be able to not feel the pressure to be like, oh, wow. And it's funny, I actually remember someone coming to me years and years ago, when I was young, and there was one girl that we all knew in the area, and she was just like, them lot, they said they like you, but you're just not undoing anything. I was like, I don't care.
Exactly.
They was just like, anytime they want to do something, I was like, I don't care. But the fact that she told me is like, they're actually talking about this as well. It's actually a problem for them. Like, what's wrong with this guy? It just never bothered me, and I think that's been a good skill to have.
Definitely.
It's a very difficult skill to acquire.
Definitely.
Going through life, because you constantly have peer groups everywhere you go. Schools.
So let me ask you, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. So therefore, because I think like one thing about this show is that as much as we want to interview the artists, but we also, it's for the culture for a reason. We want people out there, and it's not. And when we say culture, we don't want people to feel alienated in thinking that it's color or it's gender. Our culture is very much the leading force out there right now. Urban culture, whatever you want to class it as, it's the leading force out there right now. And people lean to it, they borrow from it. So I think it's important that we not claim it back, but we let people know where it stems from. And we all come from the same place, whether it doesn't matter if it's north, west, south, or east, or London or outside. We come from the same place, the same melting pot. And we see the epidemic with these young kids and with crime and knife crime and blah, blah, blah. And just listening to what you're saying, would you say it's very important for, let's say, these single parents or these parents that find it hard with their children to get them into a martial art or a sport or something in terms of having that second form of peer pressure?
100%.
Okay.
100%. Having the added You know, it's exactly that. Having just some other group of people that would just, it just makes them question. It's just having like a devil and an angel on your shoulder.
Yes.
If it's just one-sided, it's not going to work. You need that balance.
Yeah.
So, like you say, I think anything they get into that they can become passionate about, that you just tell them. And I think as kids, I think one thing that I was always good at, I think definitely because of the martial arts, is I was very coordinated.
Yeah.
Very coordinated. So everyone's like, if you didn't do martial arts, what would you do? Some kind of sport.
Yeah,
I was into football, got the QPR trials, got Fulham trials, like did that. Then I'm talking random. So I was skiing. I got offered to do train for the Olympics to do the slalom, just because on a ski trip. He was like, man, you got talent.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
But just because I'm coordinated, I was doing tennis, I was doing rugby, I've done cricket, I've done anything that requires body movement, I was always about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll be the first to, I'm ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's definitely from the martial arts.
100%.
It's definitely from the martial arts. And I think it's good for children to be, and as kids, you're active, you wanna wrestle, especially boys, you wanna wrestle, you wanna do something physical. Yeah. And I think for girls, it's just good anyway. It's just good to exercise, staying in shape, and just having an understanding of being in shape and stay and just health conscious.
Yes.
And there's so many benefits that martial arts in general, any type of martial arts, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, this one's better than this one. It's just what you're doing in there as a whole, peer group that you're creating, the fitness side, the concentration, the focus. Because even as kids, I'm taught in a kickboxing format or a martial arts format. This is the class, that's your teacher, that's who you listen to.
Yeah.
When I go to school, it's exactly the same. So it's in terms of learning that I'm not supposed to be messing around over here while this person's talking to me and ignoring them. I'm supposed to be this way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, again, you create a format that they're gonna then utilize later on in their life.
Yeah.
You know something? This guy.
No, listen.
No, wait, this guy.
You know what? What really resonates with me though, and I think, it can't be understated, is that power to say no. I think that is so important, especially for our young people, and to hear that as well. And to hear someone like yourself that's doing so well, that is cool. Being able to say, you know what, doing all that rubbish, what they're trying to, nah. That's a no. That would be a no from me. I think that's so important.
As I say, it is difficult. It is difficult, and I understand the pressures of it. Wanting to be included and this kind of stuff. But again, if you're already part of a group, it doesn't mean you don't need to be part of that group as well. You know what I mean?
But okay. So what I want to do, I want to segue a little bit, because one of the things that we was talking about upstairs was that 2 minutes of speaking to Mr. Venom. I'm going to call him Mr. Venom, right? Because as much as he's got a nice demeanor, don't get it twisted. Right? Venom will put you to sleep, right? Any which way he chooses. Okay, let's just put that out there. But speaking to the man for 2 minutes, you can't help but pick up his energy of why you would support someone like him, right? Like literally, you just have it, and I think just in this small time of people listening to you, you'll have people kind of going, wait a minute, and sitting up because you have that energy.
Definitely.
So then, going now to your persona because you mentioned it earlier, when you're in the ring and blah, blah. So people would feel that you're arrogant because they will pick up that side of things.
And you know what? Not just arrogant. Most people have got a perception that fighters are dumb. And just hearing you speak, clearly that's not the case.
Far from his lyrical discourse. That used to be his voicemail. I just stole it. I just want to let you know where I got it from. Right. But what made you, I guess, I don't know if it's adopt that kind of, because you knew that people probably wouldn't want to like you. If they see you and they see you're confident, you knew that you'll have people go, oh, I don't like him. But what made you go with it anyway, for use of a better expression?
You know what? Weirdly enough, I actually didn't know. I'm gonna sound very ignorant in how I did it, but because I've done the martial arts that I did for so long, so the Lao guard took me into the what we call sport karate, also known as freestyle kickboxing, which is very similar to taekwondo.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
very similar in terms of most people think I do taekwondo after watching me because it looks very close.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So because I've done that for years, the style that I have, with my hands down, the long stance, it comes from somewhere. It's not something that I had made up.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So if I was to take you to a competition, you'd be walking around like, wow, everybody fights like this. But nobody from that style has ever gone into a full contact style and done really well. In terms of, in the public eye, everyone's actually talking about, well, where's this actually come from? Yeah. So this is why when I came out, people automatically assume that, oh, I've just made this up. This is just my thing. Yeah. And it's not. Like I said, there's thousands of people. I was doing competition. I was in the kickboxing. I was a 10-time world champion. I was doing competitions all around the world.
Now, see, just pause because that's no.
I knew the pause moment.
No. You know what you say? I was a 10-time world champion.
I was gonna do this.
I read that you became a world champion when you was 12.
Yeah, that's my first world title.
No, hold on. And it wasn't against other 12-year-olds. It was against adults.
What?
Talk to us about.
No, so my first world championship, it was, I think I was in the 14 to 16. I was quite tall for my age, so 14 to 16s. And so it's difficult, but I had the talent there. And weirdly enough, at that time, I had just about qualified to go to the World Championships. Right. And prior to that, I'd say for the 4 years before that, I struggled to get a third place. Wow. Like I would go every weekend, we're traveling somewhere, and I'll just get my ass whooped. Everywhere. Yeah. But it was just something that we were doing, like, as in like, I had to just keep going. It wasn't a choice, so I was going. I enjoyed it. I couldn't say I didn't enjoy it, but then because my brothers and sisters all did it as well. When your brothers and sisters come back with medals, it's cling, 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 cling. You know, you're just sitting in the back of the van, just
no cling.
Not making noise about their fights as well. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, remember when I hit that man with a kick? Yeah. Are you right, Michael? No, I'm good.
How you doing, mate? You cool?
That's several medals, you know? That's several medals.
Like this, nothing's clinking.
Oh, my days. No. And you know what? What's funny about that is, you know, there's someone that's watching MVP show reel, watching him bust people up, and he's going to his missus, or he's going to, oh yeah, I used to beat him up, I bitch. Yeah, I used to whoop him, I bitch.
That's his girlfriend going, you can't beat him now, then. Not with that stomach. Climb your ass back in bed and go sleep. How about that? About that on Tuesday.
Oh, man. That's
an old fight. Sure, he beat you up when he was 12 and you were 16, right?
Right, exactly that.
Yeah. So I was receiving licks. And I just managed to qualify. But obviously, regardless of 4 years, win or lose, is a lot of experience that you're taking in. So, especially as a kid, you soak it up. Like, I'm taking it in. So, I managed to qualify. I go to the States. I'm in this section. This section is massive because the way the States did it, they had seeded fighters, but they have it from their own circuit. So I would like go through a whole like wave of kids, and I'm winning. And my dad's like, yeah, I think you're in about the semi-finals. I'm like, cool. So they're like, okay, bring the seeded fighters, and like 24 kids will come in, and I'm just like looking at my dad like, are you taking liberties? And he's just like, okay, now once I went through a hold of them and get there, he's like, yeah, I think you must be in the final or something now. Bring through the seeded fighters. I'm looking at him like, bro. And he was like, just keep fighting.
Just beat all these guys up first.
Just keep fighting. Whatever. I'm not gonna tell you anymore. So, got to the final, had a tough fight, won that, so it was my first world champion. And out of all of us, I wasn't the one that was supposed to win that one, if you know what I mean. Like I said, I hadn't been doing very well prior, but that year, everything just clicked. Wow. And I went back, and everybody that was whooping me, for some reason, something just boom, into place. When I got back, I was tearing through that division. Yeah. And people that were tearing me up, it was like with here, and I was then there. Understood. And to the point where, when I was 13, I said to my dad, I was like, can I fight in adults? So that's 18 up. And he was just like, as a coach, he's like, I know you can. Yeah. As a father,
yes. 100%, yeah.
He's like, yeah. You're my son. I was calling, like, I was like always putting it on him, like, please. And I went to this big event. All the top fighters were there. And you have to win your division, and then the winners of each division, they do an open weight as well. So not only am I fighting the adults, it'll be in the wrong weight division.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? So I won my weight division in the adults. And he's like, congratulations. He's like, I might pull you out for the thing. I was like, no, I want to fight. And again, he's just there like, gets his better judgment. I think the coach side of him was like, okay, give him a chance. So I went in there, tore out the division, and I just lost in the semi-finals, and it was a bit of a robbery as well. Like, they just did not want me to win. So we were like, after that, my dad, he was gassed now. He's like, putting money up. Who wants to fight my kid? Putting money up. Just that, after that, I was just, I went to the World Championships. I was the youngest fighter to fight on the adults English team at the time. Wow. And we got a silver medal that year. But from then, it was just like winning, and just progressing. And then just multiple World Championships later, and this and that, and just traveling experience. But that sport has no publicity. Yeah. It's a very tight, like I said, normally no one knew who I was, where the style came from. It's not like I even, when I came, they're like, oh yeah, that's from that. No, no one knew a thing. Yeah. So I was like, I want to continue fighting, but I'm getting older now. I need to do it in something where I can actually get something back for this. Yeah, you know what I mean? I got offered, is it Tiki Williams wanted me to fight. He's like the coach, karate coach. He wanted me to fight for the England team, but again, I'm like, well, they're not in the Olympics, so there's no point going that route. The Taekwondo coaches contacted, wanted me to go into Taekwondo, and at that time, I was kind of like, Olympics, but at the same time, after the Olympics, what do you do? So I'm like, I'm just gonna go straight into professional. So in my head, it has to be either full contact kickboxing, boxing, or MMA. And this MMA is like, I did not know a thing about MMA. But I enjoy learning. Yeah. So I was like, let me just try MMA, see how it goes. My first MMA fight, and I always say, go and watch my first MMA fight, because I've never been nervous for a fight, because I've done it for so young. I've never actually been nervous walking out to a fight. This is my first time, because I'm like, now there's a bit of expectation. I mean, people know me from the kickboxing. Like, so all my, all the crowd that come and supporting me, a lot of noise. And if you see my entrances, I'm dancing, like just energy. That walkout.
I was there.
Robocop, innit?
I mean, I remember my boy even going, oh man, because you walk out with the ring girls. He's like, man, that ring girl, and that she's so hot. I was like, I don't know who you're talking about. I thought I was walking by myself. I was so nervous.
I didn't see her.
Yeah. I was so nervous, but you saw what happened in my first fight. As soon as that bell rang, I was like, oh, I'm in my element. Like, this is only 6 months of doing MMA. It wasn't even that long. Wow. It was only 6 months of doing MMA. And my coach was like, obviously, you can see how you've got something. So I'm happy for you to take this fight, and we'll work from there. And I went straight into pros. So it wasn't, straight to professional. I had no amateur fights, none of that. Straight to professional, won my first fight. That went viral. Yep. And my coach was just like, now everyone is going to think you're here. Yeah. And your MMA ability is like, so he's like, we got a lot of work to do. Yeah. And it's just been work from then. It's been work.
I mean, listen, I was there on the night. I saw the energy. Everyone, it was crazy. And I just remember thinking, this guy, if he, as long as he stays the course, because we've seen that a lot, where people come and go, and exactly that. And so I always knew, you know what, this is going to be massive, and it's gone on. And so I saw you do an interview. You signed to Bellator and doing your stuff in Bellator, and you're killing it. Still undefeated, still undefeated in MMA, still undefeated. And the Cyborg fight. Now I've seen Cyborg many times.
Cyborg's a big guy,
and Cyborg's a veteran. So the Cyborg win is kind of what it's now thrusted you on world stage.
100%.
Yeah. 100%. And then you say, I'm gonna do boxing as well. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine called Andrew, and he's a boxer as well, an ex-boxer, and I said that if MVP pulls off being a world cage fighting champion and a world boxing champion, I mean, just for for you even having the idea that you're gonna do that, I'm like this guy, salute. To actually do it, you potentially go down, and I'm sure I'm not over-gassing the thing, but you potentially go down to be a world boxing champion and a world cage fighting champion at the same time as one of the greatest combat athletes
100%
to ever live.
100%, and that's the aim. As soon as I said it, everyone's like, oh, but how can you do both? I was like, well, when people do things for the first time, you would have said the same thing in absolutely anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely anything. It's like, but how do you, how do you not kick? I was like, you know how much energy it takes to kick?
I'd rather kick on the ground.
I prefer to keep punching. You know what I mean? I prefer
Kick and miss.
Exactly. I prefer it. So, and in my training, my coach will always handicap you. So to speak. So he'll be like, I only want to see your hands now. So we're only going to box, and he'll bring in top boxers, and like you have to beat them in their area. Yeah, I want you to be able to be on that level. Yeah. And that was just more for my MMA, not just because I want you to go into boxing, but it'd be the same. So jiu-jitsu guys would come in, I want you to beat them in their area.
Yes, right.
I want you to be able to hang with this top, he's the current world champion jiu-jitsu, he comes in. This guy's current wrestling world champion, he comes in. I have to hang with them. And a lot of times you're getting your ass handed to you. It just takes me back to when I was, 8. I had to go through those. It's the same thing. And then you just have to keep pushing through that. But with the boxing, because of my style, the way I punch, the awkwardness of it, when boxers were coming in, they were having problems.
So do you find that you still drop your hands the way?
Oh, no, the same. Wow. Going back to what you were saying, I don't know how else to fight. So
Understood.
In terms of like I said, I'm ignorant to it. I didn't believe people would actually have a feel a way about it because I was just doing what I did. And I've never had that kind of experience in the MMA world. I actually don't know the MMA world at all. So in the freestyle world, it was okay to do. So when I did it in the MMA world, seriously, I felt like I'd murdered someone, boy. I picked the comments. I was like, oh, damn, what'd that do? He said, my mum, what?
First of all, don't let me bring my mum down.
No, they don't direct my mum. What?
They're talking about you now.
Let me copy and paste this and send it to my mum.
Yeah, she was ready. You're ready.
You know what? That's gonna be the new one,
warming up.
Whose mum is that? You know who this is.
Listen. So for me, I was just like, wow, so straight away I was just like, you know what? I ain't reading comments again. I'm not interested. I'm just gonna do me, whatever. Is this how people feel? I actually don't. If I try to fight the conventional way, I'm likely to get knocked out because I literally can't fight any other way.
Muhammad Ali, same thing. Muhammad Ali wasn't good with blocks. He when they made him block, he would get hit.
The style was based on speed, on reflexes. That style of fighting, Roy Jones, reflex style of fighting. As you get older, how have you found it?
It's again, you just have to adjust and be a bit more sensible with. As long as you understand combat.
Yes.
I understand that circling a certain way is dangerous.
Yeah, 100%.
Dangerous. So as much as I got reflexes, I'm still not stupid.
Yeah.
That's the dark road. Don't go down that way. Yeah? Don't go. Let's go the egg. Can't go down that way. There's still certain things that I just wouldn't do and I have to train myself that way. So even as I might be dodging, I'm looking to go down, I'm like, no, I gotta find a way out this way. So there's just certain things that I'll just naturally do. And again, if you see someone southpaw, you understand, can't.
Offline.
Exactly. So as long as you train the basics, but I think it's sometimes people with that kind of ability neglect just the general understanding of combat. Because they're so good at doing it. And as you say, later on, their reflexes aren't as sharp. Then they get caught out.
Slip onto the inside.
Exactly. Because before, they were able to do the dangerous thing.
Yes, that's right.
The thing is, what's the point? I don't even need to take that risk. It's just not necessary.
A lot of people wouldn't understand that you slip on the inside, there's something already waiting for you.
Waiting.
Why would you come over here?
Amazon,
it's right here.
Just boxed up, waiting. Just waiting.
Pressure. How do you handle the pressure? And when I say not just the pressure of being a fighter and being as good as you are and all that, but when you come in the game, people saw a couple moves and all of a sudden, he's the new Anderson Silva, he's the new John Bones Jones. So it's people at the very top of the game that you were getting compared to. And like you said, you was quite young in MMA at that point.
Very. And as you say, even like I said in the comments, people are like, so why isn't he fighting this person? I've done this 6 months.
Is it right? Right.
And as you say, it's now, I was on the spotlight immediately. Like people were now following my career from day one, where a lot of people, even now, so where I'm at now, I would only just have gone onto the scene.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I would have had this, and then when I'm on the scene, I'm already capable of doing all the other stuff. I literally had no jiu-jitsu, no wrestling, none of that kind of stuff. It was 6 months worth of that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then if I was to go in to the top, and technically I could, if I was mismanaged, I could have gone into, you know, taking a big fight and being gassed.
Yeah.
And then I would have lost to someone that I should have beaten because I'm technically better than them in this area, but I've neglected everything else. And MMA is you need to cover that pie chart. Like there's so much to learn and there's so many different ways to lose.
Yeah.
You need to cover that.
Yeah.
How do you remain level? 50 Cent is now one of your friends, right? Do you know what I mean? Like you're getting noticed, I guess, by quote unquote the mainstream. Is it hard to maintain the level of focus that you obviously have now that you're in this new arena, first of all?
I think it's always hard in general because we were speaking before about just, you kind of forget that these people on the TV have a life.
Yes.
And there's other stuff happening anyway. So aside of all these distractions of the glittery distractions, shall I say, in general, life can be difficult. I think if you're able to manage that in general, once you add this kind of stuff, for me, it's just anytime I get these kind of compliments, Anderson Silva complimenting me, saying like, because someone asked him in Brazil, like, have you heard that this guy they're calling in the UK? He's like, yeah, I've seen him, man. He's the real deal. Wow. And this is, again, and I'm only like 4 or 5 fights deep. Yeah. And for me, I'm just like, that's a constant reminder that you're on track. That's it. Don't take it for anything else. It is simply a reminder that you are still heading in the right direction, because it can be difficult, especially in this sport is tough. Like training, getting up to go and train every day, and your body is in bits, and then you got to get back up again the next day. You're like, what am I doing this for? Then you get something like that, and you're like, yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? And for me, the pressure when it comes to fighting, I've always said I never really had that kind of pressure, just because I fight, the one emotion that I fight with is just happiness. Like I'm just in my element. And I always said, a lot of people say that when I watch you fight, I can see you just enjoying yourself. And I feel when you're enjoying yourself, you're in a different state of mind. When it's pressure, like, oh, I need to win this fight, you know, this extra money or this, like you're putting too much. You can't fight the same. You know, you get like a deer in headlights. You kind of freeze up. You just can't fight the same. Yeah. Like I am conscious of everything around me while I'm fighting. I can hear your coach, I can see the commentators there, I can see, our president, the Scott Coker there. Like I can see everything. Yeah. And I'm very responsive to people as well.
Can I just put a pause on that? So what that is for people out there is that if you ever like are stupid enough to try and mess with them on the street, you don't fight a man that's happy. A man that's happy while he's beating you up is a psychopath too. Like we need to just put that out there. If he's smiling, going, and you're just getting licked up, going, why is he smiling? That means he's enjoying what he's doing. So stay away from him. Put a disclaimer there. Stay away from this man because he smiles and beats you up at the same time, right? And get somebody's day, right? And he's skipping rope. That's what I'm saying. But I just want to add to this. Sorry, I know you're going to say Semtex.
Whoa. There you
okay.
All right.
Yo. No, go ahead. I don't know if we're gonna look at you. Go ahead.
So, yeah, there's a bit of beef there.
Yeah.
So just a little bit.
A bit of.
So okay, it's mad. I'm just gonna break it down quick. So we were amicable, cool. There's never been any problems. We did the British invasion together, where the UK's versus the Americans and blah blah blah. We had to do a lot of press conferences together. At that particular time, I'd heard who he was because he was the kind of the main name in the UK. And yeah, so we got to meet him. It's cool, never any problem. In all honesty, though, I genuinely believe now, when I look back on it, because I'm always me, so I'm not going to change that. But I believe now he was laughing and joking, but secretly didn't like me, and more because of how quickly I just went like that. Because obviously he's been in the game for a while.
Yeah, a minute.
Then I come on, and again, I make noise off my first fight immediately. Yeah. And then everybody anytime he was doing interviews and stuff, my name would get, because we're both from the UK, both young black guys, and both in the same division. So anytime his name was being mentioned, my name was as well, and I think that was bugging him.
Understood.
But like I said, it comes out more now, because when he's like ranting back, because he's very impulsive. Yeah. When he's ranting back, I'm hearing stuff and I'm like, oh, you've never said that before. So this is a bit deeper than what you're trying to make it out. Because for me, you said something disrespectful in one of his interviews, and I'm like, let's fight then.
Yeah.
That's it. That was it. That was it. But I'm how I see it, we're in the best position. We are fighters. Yeah. That's the best way to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he said something disrespectful. Someone sent me an article. And I read it and I was like, wow. I was like, okay. Like, I mean, funny, we've been in interviews before and people have asked us those questions and you've never said that. Right. Everyone's like, oh, what happens if you two fight? He's just like, you know, if it happens, it happens. And I'm the same. I'm like, yeah, if it happens, it happens. I'm not chasing him. I don't care. We're on our own paths. And then in one of the interviews, I'm not there. And he's just like, Michael Page ain't on my level and this. And I'm just like, wow, like, where did that come from?
Right. Where's the energy when I was in the room?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, if he did it in front of me, I know, because obviously there's a persona you have to put on sometimes, just sell fights and blah, blah, blah. So sometimes,
of course.
Cool, I get that. If you put it in front of me, at least I get the chance to come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Immediately I can be like, oh, we're here, all right, cool. And we can bat that straight back and, you know, do that. But you did it behind, and then I got an interview sent to me. Then I thought, even when the first interview came to me, I was like, you know, I'm not gonna say nothing. When I see him, I'm gonna ask, like, do we have a problem? Have I missed something? I'll just be forward, like what's going on? Yeah. But then a video interview came out of him saying, just mugging me again on another level. I was like, boy, gloves are rough. I'm just going, like, you know what I mean? So, see, my personality is more not like I said, he's very impulsive. My personality is not like in your face, loud. I prefer to make noise while I'm fighting. Yeah. But I can be a wind up though.
I like the way he's talking.
Social media, I started hitting him. Hitting him up.
I saw it,
man.
I saw it.
Yeah. I was hitting him up.
I
He was getting it. And I said, I've told like, my friends and I said, I'm going to change his name. So he's Paul Semtex Daley. I call him Paula Tampax Daley. So, and right now, I've had people come up to me on the road like, oh yeah, when are you fighting Tampax? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be fighting him.
I'm not laughing. What? Can I just say something? Yeah. I didn't laugh.
I didn't laugh either, Paul.
A lot of dust in there.
I'm not laughing.
Because I do Kung Fu, but I tell jokes. Yeah. I just don't want the problem. I just pull up my light and go, Tampax, what?
So yeah, but that's just me. I'm a bit more joking. People come up to me like, oh, you know, you see Conor McGregor doing his thing. Why don't you like, you know, be loud and that? I said, but if it's not authentic, people are not gonna believe it. I'm not just gonna start randomly just being like, yeah, you dickhead. It's not believable. So we gotta be who we are.
Yeah.
I'm a wind up. Yeah. So that's me. So he'd be like going off. Oh yeah, he's chatting and I'm just like. Just watch the reaction. You felt that one, didn't you?
Don't like that. Don't like that. Just scroll down. You know, refresh.
I'm not even laughing.
Listen, I even made a track for him.
No, you never.
I started rapping. Listen, I made a track for him. Started dropping bars, and I got put a little video clip together. And off that, Stormzy followed me. Imagine that.
No, hold on. Let's just be very clear. This is why you don't want him as an enemy. My man, besides being able to fight, said, I'm going to drop a hard 16. And Stormzy went, shut up. I'm following you. Shut up. Follow. Straight. Stormzy doesn't even follow me and I know him. How about that? I still haven't got... We're from the same ends. Let's not talk about it. I'm not bitter. So would you say then, okay, so is this fight now...
We're on track. This is it.
It's now happening. So for the last 2 years, and again, it's going to be like he say. It's going to be like he say. But for the last 2 years, I've been chasing this fight. Now, when I was supposed to when I fought Cyborg, I was supposed to fight a guy called Fernando Gonzalez, which I later fought. Okay. But he wasn't able to get a work visa over. Now, this is in the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks. So coming out to the fight, you're supposed to have your opponent ready and like, opponent's now changed. Yeah. The same thing happened for Paul Daley. He was supposed to fight Koscheck, and Koscheck either got injured or something. So basically, me and him are on the same show without a fighter.
Okay.
And the promoters contacted us and like, oh, like, look, the show's kind of falling apart. Like, would you be happy to fight, to try and build up, be the main event and fight Paul? We said, yeah, straight away, like immediately.
Yeah.
And we were just waiting. Didn't hear nothing back, and he was like, so what's going on? Oh yeah, like he said it's too much of a change because he's a wrestler, and I was just like, okay, pussy. Yeah, okay, fair enough, no problem. But so that's 2 years ago.
Okay.
And ever since then, it's always like, again, he had a fight, lost, came out the cage like, afterwards.
Yes, I saw that.
Effing and blinding at me, then tried to run at me afterwards. Like all this, and then straight afterwards, Bellator were happy because everyone's talking about it online.
And that's real. It's real.
This is real. Like we don't like each other. It's real. And again, the more it's dragging on, the worse it's getting.
Yeah.
Because, so he's come out, the Bellator hit him up straight away, like, okay, let's get this fight on. He's like, oh, no, I don't want to fight him yet. So like, well, so why would you do that? Then he won his next fight and then called me out again. So Bellator's like, yeah, let's do it. Here you go. He's like, no, I don't want to fight him yet. It's not the right time. Okay. So I just switched off. I was like, this guy's a joke for me. I'm actually not interested now. Yeah. I was actually like hyped for it, like, yeah, let's go.
All right, so I'm gonna play Heaven's Advocate for 1 second.
I like the way you said that.
I'm gonna play Heaven's Advocate, right? I'm gonna say, maybe Sem's thinking because Paul Semtex Daley versus Michael Venom Page, for me, is not just a big British fight, it is a massive
100%.
International fight.
100%.
And so maybe Sem's thinking from a business perspective, let's push this out, let's draw it out, let's build the beef, so then when you guys, because bruv, I'm more interested in that. I'm more interested in you two fighting than watching Connor, than watching the return of Bones. Like for me, that's the fight.
100%.
So maybe it's not that easy.
You know what it is? He's not that smart. He's not that smart. I'm sorry, but okay, you need to remember, like I said, he's a very impulsive person. This is the same person that got kicked off of UFC because he sucker punched someone after he lost the fight. You know what I mean? He's a very impulsive. The reason why this even started is because he just won a fight and someone mentioned my name. Oh, that guy's not on my level. Again, he's impulsive, he's responsive. That responsive person, and from what I've seen consistently, even from back then till now, isn't a person that thinks ahead. He didn't run out of the cage because he thought, oh, that's gonna build it up. He didn't. Now, my thing is, it'd have been easy for you, look, let's sit down together and let's have a talk. Yeah. You know what? This could be massive. Like, aside of actually, like, look, let's just squash this. This could be massive. Let's build it up properly. Yeah. If you were smart, we would actually had a sit down and actually let's do it properly. Yeah. Because not all beefs are real. So let's just squash this quickly because now we're onto something. Yeah. But no. Yeah, he wouldn't reach out. He's not that smart. I'm sorry to say, he's just not. So
you know what's nice? Where we're going, okay. Yeah. Because we don't do this. No, so because when this goes out, because we know that it's part of the video, it's gonna go out. So man's watching our response. Yeah. Man knows that
Yeah, it wasn't me. All that laughing you can hear was Richard.
Well, you know, they just went like this and just went, bus just went. What was that? That was Blackwood. I just ran him over. I think Jason threw him in front of the bus.
That laughing weren't me. You heard what I said. I said you were smart. I said you was building it up. That's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said.
I didn't even realise I was thrown in front of the bus. I was like, wait a minute, is this a motorway? Why am I in front of the cars? Where's Jason? Jason's in the house like...
So there's a sweetener been added to that pot because I saw on Instagram 50 Cent said he's putting up $1 million of his own money. So aside from the purse, aside from what the man will be making, the winner of that and that tournament, that's the fight that you guys are going to be in that tournament?
So that's one of the fights. So the tournament will stretch over a year.
Okay.
So each individual round will be the main event of that tournament.
Right.
So of that show. Sorry.
Yes.
And then the tournament winner, and it's only 3 rounds. It's 3 fights, and then 50's giving me the money basically. So, that's it.
This guy. You.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
Take your number. You want beef with me? Venom.
See me there straight away. Richard, what you say? What happened?
Don't even do that one.
Just point. Which one? I'm warm now. I'm warm.
Warm, huh?
My fingers go like this. You're ducking now, huh? Ducking now, huh?
Like it.
So
So
for
that's
me,
a meal on the table.
It's a meal on the table. And you know what? And it's funny. A lot of people are like, yeah, like people get more gas than me. That it's like, man, 50 doing $1 million and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, cool. But aside of this,
Yeah.
I already know I'm gonna make $1 million. I don't need
Regardless.
Bellator. Like, I don't need Bellator. That's my goal anyway. So it's not the money. I don't care. I enjoy what I'm doing, and the status that it puts you at winning this competition is up there. You're gonna have the tournament belt as well as the welterweight division belt. That means more.
Jeez.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just a bonus. It's nice. You know what I mean?
Do you know what? Let the people know that don't know what's your Instagram so people know.
Yeah, it's Michael Venom Page, and that's it. At Michael Venom Page.
I'm gonna follow you. Don't let me follow you. You don't follow me back. I want to do it right now because.
course.
No, because I'm funny. I'm sensitive, you know.
Yeah.
Right?
I already follow him. I already follow him.
No. I'll tell you what happened, right? I met. I'm not dropping names. No, I am. Right. I actually followed Anthony Joshua before I met him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that he never followed me back for a while, right? No, Anthony knows, right? I was like, wait a minute, so I thought, let me refresh. Right?
Just waiting to see his name.
No.
See that picture come out, right?
No, it's coming out. Right, I've just, see it, follow, there you go, right? Yeah.
Right,
So,
right.
I know she ain't taking out your phone, but it's okay, right? No, we do it later. No, I'm just, no, I'm sensitive. Yes, yeah, I'm just saying. No, when you do that, I'll tell them what I'm talking about. Why you add me back, right? But I was really hurt by it. So then I saw him, and then we met, blah blah. And one thing I've noticed about you guys now, these new fighters, have you noticed they're really tall?
Really tall.
I don't know what prehistoric food that you guys are eating, right? Like we didn't get fed that. We just got like corned beef.
No, don't say that, please.
You never got corned beef.
Of course I got corned beef.
Corned beef did not do to you.
Okay, no. All right, this is my dad. This is my dad. I was like, nah, he was deep. He was deep.
You got the real stuff.
Man got the corned beef, yeah.
Okay.
And then he went to the Chinese restaurant.
No.
And came back with and his plate was full. You know, we were eating our food, yeah, Vex. And then hoping that he get he'd be like, I can't eat all of it. And we're in there, you get me?
Yeah.
Always waxed, clean. And I'm like, this. I'm sure you're just trying to make us strong. I don't get why you're not eating the same thing as us.
You see the prejudice?
I don't get it.
Remember what the Chinese do for the kung fu?
Exactly.
But you guys, you're black, you have corned beef. You have to work your way to this.
You know, you used to be studying his lips. So every time, just everything you put in was just magical.
Just a dim sum, innit? You're just there with corned beef and cabbage.
I was vexed, but yeah.
Listen.
Mike, man. So, future. We got
Yes.
the tournament coming up.
Yes,
When can
yes.
we look forward to seeing you in the cage or the ring again?
Well,
I know
actually-
you're part of Haymaker Promotions.
Yeah. So the boxing, because the MMA comes first, we had to finalize a date for the MMA. So as soon as they give me a date, I can find out when I'm going to do a boxing next. So it's looking like it's been pushed till next year.
Okay.
So early 2019, like February, March. That's going to be the Paul Daley fight, and then. Obviously, I hope to get a boxing fight in this year, if possible, once they've confirmed that the date. Opening a restaurant as well, so trying to make history there as well. It's on Portobello Road, and weirdly enough, we've never had a Caribbean restaurant with the history of Carnival. We've never had a Caribbean restaurant on Portobello Road.
Wow.
There's been around. It's in Notting Hill, but not on that strip of road. So we're opening one, so the 30th of October, so very soon, we're doing a big open, just have people come down, try foods and this and that, and then we're just introduced to the world.
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, definitely. Come down, and I'm just trying to make big moves. And for me, we're dedicating a day of that, so we're going to close up shop for the youth to come in and do apprenticeships where people are learning how to cook, vlogging, all that kind of stuff, so they can utilize our space. And so we have to give back. It's all about giving back as well. So, yeah, that's the next thing for me. Next thing for me. So,
in the words of the enigmatic legend that is Trevor Nelson, Michael Venom Page, for the culture, salute.
horse.
Yeah, horse. Yeah, the bars there, horse. Non-fighters don't know what that means.
Yeah, we're good. Jeez, yeah, man.